all our contracts with our vendors and third-party providers. Scope, how much we're paying them, etc., etc., etc. I work. By the time I get home, it's 8 o'clock. It should be publicly available. I shouldn't have to reach out and ask for this information. We are paying for these services. It should be freely available for us to know how much we're paying, who the vendors are, and what the scope of the work is. It's not that hard. It's one document that gets posted.
Current contract.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful.
No, I understand that, but what she's saying is, first of all, you have to know what you did, and then go and search it. So if you wanted to look at, engineer ABC, you have to look through all the resolutions. I mean, I don't want to, that's what you're saying, right? What's there any more? I'm sorry.
Just one last thing. This is actually for Tim. Are there any town-sponsored functions for Thanksgiving in order to be able to donate something or help?
Town-sponsored?
I'm
not aware of anything that's being sponsored by the town or in town, whether the church groups or anybody.
The church is doing something.
But I'm not aware of what's going on.
If we wanted to donate it to our year.
I'm just walking to Kathy and asking if you donate.
And also the food bank.
Every church has to say there's a food bank too.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend with the food bank situation that's going on that you contact OLPH does have a food bank up there, and there's also the Area Association of Churches that services families in our area. They're always looking for donations.
One last question. I think my husband brought up the dumpster that was parked on 56 Barbary by external contractors out of town. I believe he had sent you, both of you, an email. I think he followed up with a phone call to the police department. Has any action been taken? We did not
What
receive
response
any
did he get back from the police department?
feedback.
Because I can't speak on behalf of the police department. I thought that's where it was going, contact with the PD.
I don't believe he heard that. But again, the dumpster is still there. I don't know whether any fines have been issued. I know that people have been dumping because no work has been actually happening in that property, and the dumpster gets full.
This is 56.
Yes.
The address. So can you take a look at that tomorrow and let us know if people is on vacation? And he might have done something already. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Claudette? Yep. Carolyn, I don't want to pronounce it,
Brouillon, 12 Miller Street.
Sorry.
No worries. It's my one and only question I keep on asking. I understand if you don't have any telephone poles around, but somebody actually just got towed, which I didn't know about until I woke up the next morning because they parked halfway in private road and halfway on the parking lot.
So the telephone pole back there?
So I say, so will the town be adverse if I procured a telephone pole from my neighbor and laid it down where it used to be years ago before the fence?
What they're talking about is private road, the old fence that's gone and her wall there. We'll get, you have one, what's your address? I'll get permission from,
Do we have permission for him to drive his backhoe down the road?
Pump station
Hold it on
that
to-
need to be gone.
okay, so we'll send them there. All right, we have some on public property that we'll relocate. Okay, we won't cut them, we'll put them where they need to be, not
Like I
on your
said, just like how it
property.
used to be years ago, it used to just be a
Sorry,
telephone pole laying on its side.
Put spikes in.
Because I wouldn't want any person coming out of Inlet or Winton Sea and then their car is gone.
Tomorrow?
Thank you.
You got it. Carol Buck,
Thanks, Carol.
Name and address, I'm sorry, Carol.
Harold Bucko, 330 Shore Drive. We have two issues. I understand that you are looking for new contractors for the garbage pickup.
Well, the current contract expires, so we have to go back now.
So I wish you would keep in mind that you want contractors that are going to lower the dumpsters to the ground. You're not going to drop them 3 feet up. because a case of 5 wheels costs us $200, and last year we replaced one a month. So,
I know you can go.
and we've called Future, we've had, I know that you've talked to Future, and,
And we're going to talk to them several times.
and then they just don't pick up if the wheels are broken, but they broke the wheels the last time, and we didn't discover it until they didn't pick up. So then we have a full dumpster of garbage, which is very difficult to change the wheel on a full dumpster of garbage. And they don't come back and they don't respond.
Okay.
And then when they do, they say there's trucks blocking, and that's not what it is. Now the other thing, we were working on our contract with Berlin for years now. And we had several meetings with Steve Pfeffer. And then of course the storm came and
How about the wayside?
went by the wayside. So we would like to
Start that one.
we'd like to get that settled. So
Okay. Anything else, sir? Okay. Arnie Hughes.
On 50 Downing Street, these other resolutions, like, they're not real clear. Are they, when do they show up on the website, or can I ask questions about them to be a little bit more informed? What it is, like, the resolution, R13-240, is claiming a lien. Where is that?
Bruce, where exactly is the physical address?
Oh, it's in here, okay. They're all explained, okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnie. John Bentley?
First question that I have is there or is there not a mechanism in town by which a business operating without a working power license can be closed?
Yes, there is. It starts with fines, court dates, and
Okay. This leads me into the obvious, my favorite subject, Captain's Cove Marina, who is still operating, looks worse than ever, and we're 2 years past Irene, we're 1 year past Sandy, and it just continues to go down.
I'll give you, because we are in litigation, we have multiple fines in place for multiple things. And you're just in court again, you want to court this?
Yes. Or two
Yes.
And Mayor, don't be the false impression, we're not actually in
I
civil
apologize.
litigation with them. There are several fines pending in municipal court.
Okay. Because here's the thing, and I can appreciate all that, but it just boggles my imagination. I mean, under this kind of premise, I could be able to basically open up a business, any business, in my front yard, and basically defy the town to basically shut me down. Yeah, I could potentially risk getting fined or whatever, but, I mean, isn't that kind of what's being said? You know, I mean, the deal is, and not only that, the fact that this is taking so long to finally, I mean, really, I mean, it just boggles my imagination that this process would take this long. You know, for a situation that is so obviously egregious.
Frustrating to us, John, also with our code enforcer. Just sometimes they get extensions that we don't think they should, and reschedules, and that's what happened to last week. That's not by us, that's by the judge, obviously.
Okay. Second question I have is this is regarding budgetary concerns that I think everybody has. I want to know if it warrants anybody on the council that, considering all the expenses post Sandy and all of the ratables that we've lost, that in a year or two this town is not going to be able to financially support itself and pay its bills. I mean, and I'm looking at this as a perspective from a former council person, because if I was sitting up there, I'd be going, we've lost X amount of millions of ratables, we've got businesses leaving, we've got houses that, we're not going to come back and pay taxes on. And, I personally don't know what I would even personally suggest as to how the town could stay afloat other than, and this is the second part of the question, has the town council discussed or ever intend to discuss possibly consolidating with another borough or being taken over by a larger borough? Because I just personally don't see Highlands existing much longer based on the situation, as I understand it. I mean, when you've got a situation where, unlike other towns in, the state, after Sandy, were able to waive their permit fees, we can't even do it because we're gonna go bankrupt. Okay? And just tonight, Mayor, you just said, I mean, we don't even have money to basically replace the wall. And right now we're on, like, life
One thing you
support.
said that, I think you said that we have opportunities to get a lot of that paid for, doing it the way we do it.
Okay, but it's all based on life support from other sources.
That's no question, I think every town in the short getting.
Exactly. When the life support goes away,
2 years,
it's going
2.5
to,
years.
okay? The only other option that I could see is huge spike in taxes, because where's the money coming from?
Unless you have other projects, I agree.
What other projects? I mean, even if we had a vibrant redevelopment program, even if we had a place to build a Walmart, okay? This is like a decade down the line, okay? And like I said, life support's gonna end, we're already losing, and I think it's reasonable to say, because I'll put it this way, I knew, once again, talking to some former councilman, we were in trouble decades ago when we were getting financial support from the state to subsidize our tax.
I want to be on the spot, why are you guys doing it?
Well,
I don't want to sound like a
No,
jerk.
absolutely fine, because it was available at the time. Okay, I have an answer for you. Because it was available at the time, I was not a member of the finance committee at the time. But when I asked the person who was responsible, I'll tell you exactly what happened. What happens down the line if we no longer get these subsidies from the state anymore? The answer from the person who I will not put on the spot said, well, then we're totally screwed. That
They
was the
didn't say
response
that
at the time.
forever.
But the deal is, okay,
Or whatever year it was. Steve Pepper said congratulations, you're the last mayor in Highlands to go back.
but the deal is at the time is everything's always been a Band-Aid job, And I'll put it this way, as a former council, yes, we did that, absolutely, because we could. But it wasn't after a gigantic storm annihilated us this way. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my perspective on it is that Highlands has been on life support basically all along, and Sandy just knocked the plug out of the wall. So unless there's some kind of magic, unless a volcano erupts off the coast of Highlands and we can build on it, my concern is, where is the money going to come from? That's the question.
Various projects, I don't know.
Such as,
Oh, we just got one project down on Old Paradise Park, that's a $30 million project, with roughly about 700, depending on which way you go, 700,000, so it's a little more, and getting on it.
okay,
That's one.
okay. But even possibly looking at what I'm saying as far as consolidating with other boroughs and stuff, that's not even an option as far as you're concerned.
Well, we're trying to do a lot of shared services, which is, I guess, somewhat of a consolidation of some areas of service where we can still keep the same level of service to the residents and obviously cut costs. We're working on, there's people retiring, we're also working on bringing in a shared service for that as some of our professionals are retiring on their own, with a bigger town. If you get my only fear is if you become a satellite, if you will, of a bigger town, you could become their dumping grounds for a lot of things. I guess nothing's off the table, but we haven't had any discussion about merging Highland.
Well, while that's a possibility, I seriously think that when you move another town to turn prime broker property into an entire slump, I don't see where that would be.
I didn't say that. I said it would be a dumping ground. My opinion, could be 4 other different opinions.
But it just seems like, like I said, it's a matter of dollars and cents. I mean, it's addition and subtraction. Borough's got X amount of bills. And like I said, we're in such dire straits, we can't refund fees. Okay, I'm not judging that decision not to do so. And once again, we're always reliant on these handouts. Like I said, they're going to be. I don't see any other option. We've talked about all those other projects. Well, who would have been done 10 years ago?
I agree.
Because then maybe we would have. But I personally, like I said, just I just don't see us being able to stay viable without, like I said, killing people on taxes. We're not talking splitting tax sites. We're talking killer tax sites.
Okay, thank you, John. Melissa Peterson?
Melissa Peterson, 17 Bay, Willisbury, Barbary. Over the weekend, I went to my very much Barbary house, which is empty, and on my counter were permits. My first thought is they better damn well not harm me again, because I already paid the house back in June. My second thought is they went to the wrong house. My third thought was, how the hell did they get in my house?
Did it have your address and everything on it?
It has my address and it
Does?
has signature on it. I have both doors were locked, I have a lockbox, so then I went ahead to try to call my realtor to find out if somebody from the town called you and asked permission. I'm like, no, absolutely not. How did they get in? I have no idea.
Call the police.
Well, I wanted to actually
you
figure
call
out
the
what the
construction
process was and why somebody could.
Did you call the construction office?
I did not. I wanted to talk to the realtor first to make sure that she was not contacted and that she let them in.
No sign of break-in or nothing?
No sign of breaking. However, I do have one window that you really the right way.
If they're not gonna come in and give you a permit, so it's not a permit Obviously,
You don't think the town directed somebody to do it?
Was it slipped under your door or was
I
it
got
on
paper.
the counter?
I'm like.
it was inside like in the county?
Or was it slipped under your door?
It's on the counter. So my first thought again was, I have permits signed off from June, they better not try to charge me again. My second thought is, they probably went to the wrong house. My third thought is,
How'd they get in?
how did they get in?
That's the key, right?
Do you have a contractor?
You got a contractor?
I already talked to the realtor.
Melissa, do you have a contractor? You
Yeah.
you don't have.
Anybody.
Melissa, do you have a contractor?
I do not, it's already put back together.
No, I'm just trying to figure out who would have access. Check with the construction tomorrow, if you can, you're on vacation, they'll follow up with that, or?
When they like notify,
You would think, but how would they have gotten
How would
into
they
it?
get in?
that's, my question, that kind of sounds a little bit.
You have the key one with the keys inside?
But again, when they get a lockbox.
Right, so it's a code, you're going up.
You would not notify the homeowner, they would just go in.
Yes.
They go right in. It's a lockbox.
You're talking a realtor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I know.
He has a lockbox.
Any realtor,
Especially if you're not living
you
there.
know,
That may,
Why would a realtor
on your door?
because they saw
You have
the.
Melissa, I'm sorry, you have anything else? Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
They have no right to be in my house.
We agree. Motion approved. Second. Folks, have a great night. Thanks for coming out.
Good night.